Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel, especially if this is your first time. Tonight's presentation, we're going to look at the S&P 500. More importantly, we're going to look at the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500 with the highest forecasted earnings growth rate. Now, these 10 stocks, 10 popular names. And I was kind of surprised. Mixed bag when it comes to the recommendations. There's some sell, hold, and buy recommendations. So there could be potential dip buying opportunities, or you could buy into continued momentum. Nonetheless, these stocks should be on your radar, not only because they're in the S&P 500, so they're the 500 best stocks out there, but these stocks have the highest forecasted earnings, the engine that can drive that stock price even higher. So without further ado, let's jump in the VectorVest 7 software, take a look at these stocks and see if there's any potential for money to be made. All right, here's the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500 with the highest earnings growth rate. That's the reason why these 10 stocks made it to the top of the list. You can see growth rate and earnings here in order. So the highest one is actually going to be DoorDash, followed by Micron. Look at these numbers though, 46%, 38% respectively. Some other great names here: Seagate Technologies, Uber, Ventus, VTR, Western Digital, Coin, Nvidia, GE Vernova, Expand Energy, EXE. And look at the mixed bag on recommendations here. We've got some holds, but as well, look, some buys and sells mixed in there. Now, these stocks, for the most part, look at RVs here. Look, RVs all above 1. So all of these stocks here have the potential for long-term price appreciation. And on top of that, some of these stocks here are having some pretty good safety ratings. Now, there are some stocks here that are a little bit riskier. That's going to be VTR. We've got Coinbase here at 0.84. Along with that, EXE at 0.89. Now, the RT's relative timing's favorable for the most part, but some of these are unfavorable. Here you see that obviously the two sell-rated stocks have an RT below 1. Again, this looks at our short-term price trend. So the easiest way to think about it, these two fundamental indicators, RVRS. RT is a technical indicator. So these two let you know if the company is fundamentally sound. This indicator here just lets you know what side the trend is on. Is it in favor of the bulls, generally speaking, or is it in favor of the bears? Now, the VST looks at all three of these and gives you an overall sense of these positions. Now, some of these stocks here, you are getting some value. If we take a look here, we got the column value divided by price. Here is price action, what the stock's currently trading at. Here is our valuation. That's just what we currently value the stock to be. It's not a price target or anything. That being said, as far as the most undervalued position here, that's going to go to Micron at 1.8, currently trading at $119. We value the stock at $214. Also, some value positions here: Seagate Technologies, STX. You've got Western Digital here, currently trading at $88. We value at $134. Also, Nvidia, slightly undervalued, currently coming in at $169. We value the position at $186. And EXE, also undervalued here, currently trading at $95. We value at $164. Now, the stocks in the list that investors are willing to pay a premium for, we've got DoorDash here, Uber Technologies, VTR, Ventus. Along with that, it's going to be Coinbase. And the most overvalued company goes to GE Vernova. Now, the company is currently trading at $587. We only value the stock at $212. But again, it's got great forecasted earnings growth rate, giving investors a reason to pay a premium. So let's go ahead and jump to the charts and see if there's actually any opportunities with these 10 stocks. First up tonight is going to be DoorDash, showing a little bit of renewed optimism after this dip here. You can see a little bit of buying pressure right around that 40-day. Now price action, just trying to get above the 20-day EMA. Could be a little bit of momentum in place here. Now the RT relative timing remains above 1 here, showing that the favor is still in with the bulls, and with rising earnings per share, DoorDash may not be a bad dip opportunity. The only caveat here, I will say, the valuation of it will only value the stock at $75. So investors are willing to pay a premium. I'd stick to the technicals when it comes to this position. Now here is Micron. Micron greatly undervalued. We value the company at $214 here. Price action $119. If we take a look at valuation, this is one of my favorite chart patterns. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. You see price action in its own way right now, but I do like this pivot off my level support here, the support zone, and now price action getting back above that 20-day EMA. The confirmation level is going to be around 129, where this prior high is here at 129.85. But overall, forecasted data looks good. Rising earnings per share, growth rate in earnings 38%, sales growth rate 37%. Not a bad stock to have on your radar. Another one, Seagate Technologies. Once again, a big update here. Just hit a new 6-month high. We've got 3 full body candlesticks in a row. Momentum is in favor of the bulls here. But again, my favorite chart pattern, value on the rise, price action on the rise. Let's not overthink it. On top of that, we've got earnings per share on the rise. Great forecasted data over here on the right. Growth rate in earnings 38, sales growth rate 30%. Not a bad stock to have on your list. Here's Uber Technologies. You can see the upward trend line here. Broke that upward trend line, retested it from the bottom here. Price action kind of just moving to the side here and currently below the 20 along with 40-day moving average. Also, look at RT relative timing approaching that oscillation point of 1 here. Could go unfavorable any moment. Earnings per share is on the rise. Forecasted data, not bad, just not the best time to be getting into Uber. Now here is Ventus. You can see the stock trading at a premium right now. Let's take off valuation. Looking at price action, I don't like this upper wick today. Price action struggling to get above this 20-day EMA after this big drop here. Now, if you are in the position, RT relative timing remains in favorable territory. Could just be taking a healthy breather at this time. Earnings per share on the rise over the last 6 months. Forecasted data, double digits in both categories. If you're thinking about this position, maybe wait for a buy rating to appear. Otherwise, as long as price action stays above this 40 here, I would be optimistic to the upside. Now, here's WDC. This is about as smooth as it's going to get. Lower left, upper right, moving averages in our favor. It's a little overextended from the 20-day EMA. Not going to chase this one. A strong buy rating across the board here. Forecasted earnings per share is actually on the decline over the last 6 months. Just be careful of that. Otherwise, forecasted data, 37%, 30% on the sales side. Not bad. And we see the tick up here in RT relative timing. The momentum and the strength in the uptrend continues to climb. Now here is Coinbase. Coinbase, currently a sell recommendation in place. Price action below the moving averages. Momentum to the downside. However, that momentum looks like it is stalling here after the sell-off. We do got a gap here, so if you are getting into this position, you know, any kind of price target would be around the gap fill here. But look at RT relative timing, still unfavorable for the bulls. If you're thinking about doing any kind of bottom fishing on this position here, I mean, it was at $450, currently trading at $303 right now. Just keep this in mind. We only value the stock at $152. So even after the sell-off, I don't necessarily think you're getting a great deal. You are trading, investors still trading the stock at a premium. So as long as the price action stays below these moving averages or RT is in unfavorable territory, it's a little too early to bottom fish in my opinion. I think you could get better deals potentially. Now here's NVIDIA. It was in an ascending channel here, breaking to the side of that. TSM kind of showing a similar pattern here, a little sideways action. You see price action just dropping below that 40-day moving average. Be careful with NVIDIA. If we get any kind of strong pivot to the downside, we could look around 153 to potentially 142. And you can see the RT relative timing rolling over here. So that strength for the bulls is weakening. But as far as forecasted data, earnings per share on the rise. Nice tick up here to 540. Forecasted data, one of the best in the batch. Growth rate earnings 35%. Look at the sales growth rate, outpacing it 56%. This is NVIDIA. It is the king of the AI space. A great stock to have on your radar. Just this upward momentum, that is waning now. Now it looks like we're moving more of a sideways channel here. And showing weakness now with price action below the 40-day. So if we get any kind of pivot, these are the levels I would be looking at. Here is GE Vernova. Price action again below the moving averages here is updated day. Could see some rejection at the 40-day. Look at the RT relative timing slipping to the downside. It was negative for just a moment. Now back in positive territory at 1.06. Forecasted data, not bad at all. Rising earnings per share. Great stock to have on your radar. This is a clean energy stock. I mean, we saw the momentum here from $300 upwards to close to $700. Stock just taking a little bit of a breather right now. If I use a horizontal line, this is where I would like to see price action hold support here around 576. We're just above that right now. We see bottom wicks in here. Nice level support. I do like that coming in. Now here is EXE. This is the last stock this evening. Expand Energy Corp. I mean, the stock was close to $125. Now at $95. Let's see if we're actually getting a deal here. Look at the valuation. Valuation actually continues to climb. This might be a good bottom fishing opportunity. We've had a stock at 164. I do see rejection at this 20-day EMA. I'm seeing that right now. 2 down days in a row. RT below 1. Now, let's not catch a falling knife. Let's let the bleeding stop here. Let's get price action either above some of these moving averages or RT back above 1. Otherwise, if you are buying the dip on this position, just stay disciplined. Earnings per share rising here. Forecasted data. Look at the sales growth rate, 446%, and the value just keeps climbing. Not a bad stock to have on your radar, but with the rejection I'm seeing right now, a little too early for my liking, but definitely a stock to have on your shopping list. Now, I hope everybody enjoyed these stocks. Hey, there's some great stocks in the list here. I do see some potential with some of these positions from the S&P 500 that has phenomenal forecasted earnings growth rate. Again, my name is Ryan. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the like button. If this is your first time checking us out, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Good night.